Good day, good people, good day. Happy Sunday. I hope everybody's doing well, blessed, and in good fortune. Welcome to the live. Today on Conversations with Chike Evans, we will be talking to actress and professor Tiffany Yancey and Michael J. Patterson. Michael J. Patterson and Tiffany both star in a new movie called Perfectly Us. Perfectly Us is now streaming on Tubi. Please go check that out. I reviewed it on the Stephen Knight show. You can tune into Monday's last show and you can hear my review for Perfectly Us. Tiffany Yancey just came into the room. We're going to get started, and Michael will be in shortly. How's everybody doing? Welcome in, welcome in. Where are people tuning in from? Let me know. Waiting for Miss Tiffany to come into the room. I'll be talking about the movie Perfectly Us. It's now streaming on Tubi. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. We have to support our indie filmmakers, especially those that look like us. And when I say that, I'm not being racial, but you know what I mean. A lot of our art isn't consumed by us or supported, and we need to change that. It can't be just a few people out here making art and film that we, continue to run to. There's a plethora of artists out here who are on an independent level that are making quality work and they don't get the shine. And that's primarily what we're going to talk about today. Welcome in, welcome in. Okay, I see Mr. Patterson, and there's
Hey,
Miss
can you hear me
Yancey.
okay?
I was trying to fix my light, so
It's all right. What's up, chocolate people?
hey,
How y'all
How you
doing?
doing?
hey.
I'm doing all right.
Yes, we got the melanin in the building on this Sunday.
Let me, because my head is cut off. There we go. How y'all doing today?
Good, man. How about you?
Listen, I'm blessed, man. I woke up this morning. That's more than half
I
the
know that's
battle.
right. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
those people that know me know that, like Miss Tiffany Yancey, I love her to pieces. That's like my sweetheart. She is the woman responsible for putting me in my first film. I will always be indebted to her for that. And I have never met Mr. Patterson before. So I am meeting Mr. Patterson by way of Miss Tiffany Yancey because they have a piece of art together called Perfectly Us, which is now streaming on Tubi. And we're going to get to that, but I want to talk to you individually just about art inspiration leading up to Perfectly Us and why we're here today to have this conversation. So, Tiffany, because you are a veteran to this platform and to my heart, I'm going to
Mm.
put you second.
Okay, that's fine.
So, Mr. Patterson, how are you, sir?
Good. How about you, man?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
All right.
I need you to answer a very important question for me. If you
Uh-oh.
can remember back to your first artistic inspiration, what was that?
My first artistic inspiration. Well, I would say hopefully this answers correctly. I was on a stage play, The Wiz,
Okay.
and I was in sixth grade, and that basically that was my trajectory to wanting to be as an actor full time for my career, and that was my inspiration. And it was a tug from my sixth grade teacher to get me on that stage because I said I don't want to do that. I was, stage fright,
Hmm.
but she helped me with the courage. She encouraged me, and from there, I'm here now. So that's
Absolutely.
that.
So you
Yeah.
did the whole thing through the years of schooling. You did the plays and the musicals and stuff like that.
I did all that, became a thespian in high school.
Nice.
A lot of Chitlin circuit plays through college. My young adult life, did some major plays and then did a lot of short films, feature films. Had a brief stint of being an IT engineer. Not brief, actually, 23 years of IT engineering because I got three kids. I got to take care and pay bills, right?
Right, right.
And then the Lord God was like, I need you to go back in my late 30s. And I'm like, ain't this too late? And he said, just watch what I do. And here I am. So,
I particularly like hearing stories like yours just simply because it's not the stereotypical rags to riches, I'm a starving artist until I make it. You've
right,
actually, your path is kind of like most people that I know, they still have to live their real life. And life actually starts and you have to, live it, even though
right.
you're pursuing this dream. And it looks to me like your life was kind of like mine a little bit. You had a dream deferred because you went into corporate
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Corporate
because
and
life
government.
dictated so. What was the thing that brought you back? What was the spark that made you say, "Hey, I want to dig into this again"?
It never left me. It
Hmm.
never left me. It was the courage to believe that I can still be an actor and be a better actor than I was prior.
Hmm.
And did a number of classes, took a lot of classes from New York to Virginia. And people were telling me, hey, you got what it takes. And I'm like, okay, yeah, right. But I went out there, did some auditions, and it's just the belief, the faith type situation. Each audition, each role, small role to, a large role. And I'm like, okay, I'm pretty good at this right now. I can always be better. I'm a student of the game. I'm
Right.
always learning. But it's like, okay, I'm pretty good at, this, and I want to graduate to becoming a true thespian, and that's where I'm at, man. And it's just faith in action.
Amen. Miss Nancy, what about you? What first sparked your inspiration?
I would say it did start in childhood, but not like in the traditional sense. My sister, my brother, we were always just very, I would say, silly kids. And my dad borrowed, this was like back in the 80s now. My dad borrowed my neighbor's, remember the big camcorders back in the day, real
Hmm.
big, gigantic? He borrowed my neighbors, they had a little bit of money back then. They let us borrow it. My dad set the camera up in the corner in our dining room. Why did he do that? Me and my sister put on so many shows and skits and became characters. I was a news anchor. We were just doing random interview. It was just like we were just having fun,
Yeah.
and I have actual recordings of that like now. And I was like, and then I kind of look at like that's where it started. Me
Hmm.
being in front of the camera, we were having fun, but I was typically, an introverted child, very kind of quiet to myself. But when I got in front of the camera, honey, it was lights, camera, action. So that was kind of like, now that I look back, like that was the beginning. And then I guess I went to school and college, that mindset of like, oh, you're going to be a starving artist. You got to get a real job. And so I kind of like same with the mic. I'm like, okay, I went to school, got a degree, worked in advertising sales, like in my early 20s. And then I was just like, this ain't it. There's something else. This is not, I'm missing something. I'm not fulfilled.
Hmm.
And in my early 20s is when I just started like, you know what? I'm still gonna, I gotta pay bills. And I said, but on the weekends and the evenings, I started taking acting classes. I started going to doing theater production. That's when I had moved to the DC area, and it just was like, oh, this is what I'm missing. I'm getting that fulfillment, that I'm looking for, that I wasn't getting from the 9 to 5 job. So from there, it just that's how it started, and it just morphed into me learning how to write and then me doing my own movies. And of course, Chica, you know how that started with that. So that was kind of like the beginning of how things started, thanks to my dad.
So moving, I think the first time that I saw you was in a film called Split Second. That's what, because I got
Yes.
with the red carpet to that film, and that's when I.
Yes.
And then shortly after, you wrote and we did Love 'Em or Leave 'Em.
Yes.
At that point, because that was your Love 'Em or Leave 'Em was the first film that you wrote. Talk to me about the transition from being just an actor in a film to you actually writing your own film.
Oh, wow. That was just me getting tired of going on auditions and being rejected, and me just having a really funny idea. It really started as I just wanted to create some scenes for my actors reel.
Hmm.
And at the time, I met up with Tim. He was a film director in the Philly area, and I was like, well, I just need some content for my acting reel. And then I was taking a film class, and I just got the idea for the movie, and I just came up with the concept like. It would be funny if I, about a young lady who meets a guy who kind of comes up short in the bedroom. I was like, I've never seen anything like that. I was like, how can we make this happen? And that's where I just starting with the idea and just like, I'm gonna figure out how I'm going to do it. So at that time, I didn't know how to write a real screenplay. I think I just wrote up some stuff in like a Word doc, but I knew in my head, I saw what I wanted and I
Hmm.
saw the scenes, and working with somebody say, well, look, we're going to just figure it out. So at that time, I didn't even know how to write a script. I don't know how the hell. I look back like, how the hell did I put that together? But we made it happen. But having that drive and that ambition and just the idea was like, I'm gonna do this, and it's fun, and we're just gonna see what happens. And that was pretty much how that started. And so once we went through that process and got the film done and submitted to film festivals, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have a premiere and all this other stuff. I was like, let me really focus on how to write a real, like a legit screenplay. Let me really study. Because I was like, if I can do all this and I didn't even really know what I was doing, imagine if I really focus and really study the
Hmm.
craft and take classes and read scripts. And so that was like the spark that was like, oh, I'm really, I can really do this. I can come up with these ideas and get it down on paper, and then there's a certain structure. And so I really started studying the craft of screenwriting. And because like once I'm in it, I'm all in, and I'm like, it's let's go.
Yeah.
So
And,
yeah, so that's how that started.
and so to this date, how many screenplays have you written?
Well, in terms of ones that have actually been, I guess, produced, my first film, Holiday Heartbreak, was my very first one feature film, and I pitched the idea to Megamind, and that was my first film that got produced in 2020. Then my second film, Black Girl Erupted, was produced for BET. Well, Holiday Heartbreak was produced for BET, and then Black Girl Erupted in 2023. In terms of my slate, I have like over at least 10 projects that I on my slate that I'm developing. Some are like already scripts that are written. Some are like in the development phase of like a beat sheet or a synopsis, or you know what I mean. So I just wrote a TV pilot. So I have different projects in various stages right now, but I have about um 5 scripts, that in my arsenal that I'm developing. Look, I gotta be ready. So and then of course the new project with Country Wayne, that's her. That's going to be coming out sometime in 2026. I don't have any details yet, but
Okay.
that's my third project that I'm the co-writer on that one, which Wayne came to me with his idea, and me just putting it down on paper, and then it just and that was in 2020 where he came to me with that idea, and here we are about 5 years later. It's already shot, and I think at this point they're shopping it, then seeing
Okay.
where it's going to land. So
Okay.
once they know where it's going to land, then I have more info of when it's going to be released. But yeah, so I have some things in the works in various stages, but I have a lot of great concepts and things. I'm just kind of, waiting for that time where I can really just kind of like, okay, I got some stuff ready to go. So yeah.
Gotcha. And so both of
Can I
you
say something?
executive, go ahead, Mike. What you say?
No, so I want to say about with Tiffany. So like for people that are watching this, how like people think that it's an overnight type success situation and it takes years development. And she said 2020 and now it's almost 2026. And look
Mhm.
how everything's blossoming. So, for people that are watching this, they got to understand that it takes work, it takes the graveyard shift, it takes a lot of faith, it takes a lot of oomph to get this done. And then those people will come and
Yeah.
it will work. You just got to, one day at a time. So
Yeah.
I like your story, Tiffany. I just wanted to say that. That's all.
And,
Oh,
and
thank
and
you, Mike.
on the spiritual sense, it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen.
Yes,
Some
yes,
things that happen
absolutely.
to you are happening for you, not necessarily
Right.
Hmm.
against you. Yeah.
That's
Right,
right.
right. Yeah,
So,
yeah. So just always
so,
just keep building, keep working, and just
mm-hmm.
know that things are you're moving, everything is moving forward. It may not be
Yep.
happening right at that time in that moment, but be patient and just do the work.
Yep.
True that.
Yep. So both of you executive produced Perfectly Us. Michael, tell me about how you met Tiffany and how you both became members of this project.
Well, I've seen Tiffany in the acting circles before we did Perfectly Us when it was
Mhm.
actually called the series Perfect the Series. I
Yes.
did the series with Alex Mitchell with the father-son dynamic, just as a like a exploratory type film for Cadell Cook, who is an amazing writer and director and producer, by the way. And so Cadell's like, I want to do something more with this. And I say, yeah, yeah, let's do it, And all of a sudden he brings in Tiffany. Tiffany and I talked. I think like 5 minutes into the conversation, I was like, well, yeah, we about to rock this real quick. And the rest is history. And the cast, myself, Tiffany, Alex, China, Zaire, hope I'm saying his name right, Logan, those guys, we meshed. We did what we were supposed to do. We understood the assignment, and yeah. So Tiffany was amazing to work with. She helped me. Sometimes I got nervous around her. How she brought her game. And I'm a guy who I can be that lead guy, but at the same time, I feed off of people's energy on a set. You know what I mean? I think all actors do that.
Mhm.
And when Tiffany was giving that to me, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm about to match this," And so we just had fun. It was like chess, not chess, but it was like volleyball or
Yeah.
something where we was like, "Okay,
Ping
keep
pong,
going,
just
keep
back and
going."
forth. Yeah,
Ping
yeah.
pong there was, and it's like
Hmm.
I really appreciated Tiffany's professionalism, her acting abilities, and I think she's going to go even further with her acting as well as screenwriting. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I feed
I
off of both
totally, I
talents.
totally believe the chemistry between you two. I mean, you couldn't tell me that you weren't a couple for real.
Yeah, we had a
Yeah,
lot of fun, and like I said, well, to give Mike some accolades, he was such a gentleman. So he was so mindful and sweet, and even at times where he was like, we had to be kind of intimate, of course, the kissing and things. So we had to discuss things,
yeah,
and he was just like, "Is it okay if I touch you here?" And I'm like, "Boy, if you don't just grab me, come on, just do this scene and just kiss on me." I just had to be the aggressor, because he was just so nice. And I was like, come on, look, just don't worry about it. I'm not fragile, just be in the moment and let's just go, you know what I mean? And once I kind of think I gave him that freedom, it was just like, okay, it was on and popping. But he's
yeah.
such a professional, such a gentleman. He wanted to be, very, mindful of my space and, things of that sort. And I
I'm not
appreciate
trying to
that
get hemmed
about
up,
him.
I'm not trying to get hemmed
He's
up,
like, look, I don't want no problems.
And so
But
this,
yeah.
this this is an indie project, right? And when we say indie, it pretty much means we don't have no money. That's what it means. And being on an indie set, you get in where you fit in. You make it happen however you can make it happen.
Yep,
Now, what you just described when you were filming the scenes of intimacy on a larger set with a bigger budget, you would have what is called an intimacy coach. An
right.
intimacy coach will come in and coach you on how to be so that no one gets offended, no one feels, uncomfortable. So the fact that you two guys work together as your own intimacy coach, talk to me about an indie film and that whole process and what what is needed to make that happen without any injury. so to speak?
So with me, I've done a number of intimacy situations in indie film. My number one objective is to make sure that I can have a trust relationship with my scene partner, to make sure that she is aware that this is, where we're acting, and that I'm going to ask her all the questions that are going to make her feel safe, and that she can trust me. That's the goal right there. And then of course you have the conversation, and like the friendly conversation to let her know, hey, it becomes business, but it's like you want to develop a friendship, a relationship on
Mm-hmm.
set, so
Right.
that
Yeah.
her boundaries are she can do her job, and she can do it
Mm-hmm.
the way she needs to, and so that's what it is. It's the trust, and the building the relationship, and understanding the boundaries. It's important, man.
Yeah.
Something I've been raised, by my parents, to make sure for anyone. And so I bring that to the table when I'm, doing this acting.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Ti-
So just and on my end, same like what Mike said. It just starts with a conversation, and like well, Mike and I we met prior because we worked on Uproar together. Mike,
Oh yeah,
I was working
yeah,
behind the scenes. This was like 2019, so I
right,
knew of him and his work, and I was working behind the scenes. I was like the AD, and he was acting in the project. So again, and again, like I said, it's a small, especially in the DC area, it's a very small circle of actors, so you get to know people. And I know Mike was out here making moves, and every time I did meet him or talk to him, he was very professional, very sweet guy. He didn't come off like a creep or nothing like that. So what I mean, so that's right there in itself is just your actor's general personality.
Right.
He was very respectful. And then when it came to doing Perfectly Us, and even Cadell, our shout out to Cadell, our writer director. We had our table reads, and he would say, "Well, you guys are supposed to do, have a kissing scene or what have you." So me and Mike would just get on the phone and say, "Okay, are you comfortable with this? How do you want to do it?"
right,
And I was like, "Look, as long as we both brush our teeth and have some mouthwash, we just gonna go in, okay?"
that's right,
So so I mean, again, it's like and me, my goofy, me, Cheeky. I'm a goofy person, so I had to just lighten the mood and crack some jokes, and that kind of just brought the tension down or the
right,
nervousness, and I was like, let's just have fun, and I
right. And that's
think
what we did.
and that's why I think once we kind of just would joke around and be playful, and I think with anything when you do that with someone, if you're going to have like intimacy, and you have to kind of like, okay, let's just kind of like break the ice, let's talk, crack some jokes and kind of
Right.
just let down our hair a little bit, and that will definitely help the chemistry and make things feel natural. So yeah, that's pretty much I think what we did. And I think because this was a project that we've done with over like 5 years, not consistently, but off and on.
Hmm.
And we were dedicated to making sure this project seen the light of day and got the exposure it deserved. So we were dedicated, like, okay, well, whatever we need to do,
Right.
let's make it happen. So yeah.
So talk to me about that journey though, from perfect to perfectly us. Uh, Either one of you want to take that one.
Well, you can
Well,
go ahead, Mike, since y'all were the starting point of
yeah, it
Perfect.
was,
Yeah.
it was, I thought that scene between Alex Mitchell and I, when the father-son dynamic, the talks when we were in the kitchen and I was scrubbing that pan for like 30 minutes. um, I had to put that in there. But anyway, it was it was really good to me. And a lot of people saw that scene, and they were like, "You need to do more." And Cadell was getting that in his ear as well, our director. And that's when we were like, let's make this happen. And we're like, okay, where are we going to get the money from? Who's going to shoot it? Who's going to do this? How are we going to do that?
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord God was like, I got y'all, and Cadell just he's the guy. I call him the mad scientist. He just put it together. He put the script together really
Mm-hmm.
amazingly, and then he just put the right people around it, and people that were in on it. Adam
Mm-hmm.
Arad, Tiffany. Zach, David, the production team, Dominique Gay, is that her name? Dominique Gay.
Yeah, yeah, Dominique, yeah.
Yeah, people that knew that, this is you're putting something in and you're going to get something out. But we didn't
Yeah.
have a lot. But the thing is that we had the right team, we had the right people.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm boasting, but not boasting that, you see the product for itself. You could tell that it's an indie film, but you could tell that it was a beautifully written script. We had some great
Mm-hmm.
actors and we really put it together. And that's what it's
Mm-hmm.
about. Hopefully we can convince folks to say, oh, we need to pour more money into these type of guys, because if they get more money, sky's the
Imagine
limit,
what,
right?
yeah, yeah, what could really
So
happen. Yeah.
that's what happened, and I still believe in things after this with the same team that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they're amazing. It's just the teamwork. There's no I
Mm-hmm.
in team. I play football, ran track, stuff like that. There's no I in team. And I've always had that concept. And so when I see these people working together like a well-oiled machine, it's like, this is amazing. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how it happened. We all
Yeah.
believed in the product and
Yeah.
we became executive producers and we poured in as lead actors and executive producers, and we are in it to win it. And that's why we do whatever we can to promote this film. I believe that not just Tubi, but other platforms are going to grab it, like, yo, let's and make that money, and maybe there could be a Perfectly Us 2 or a series, or something down the
Mm-hmm.
line.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's
Yeah.
just about
Yeah.
belief. It's faith. It's belief and
Yeah.
faith, and working hard, and
Mm-hmm.
Right.
taking it one day at a time, man.
Yeah.
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 And like I say, it started with basically, Cadell Cook, he wanted to write something from a man's perspective about relationships, a black man's perspective. So that scene that you see with Mike and Alex in the kitchen, that was the first scene that was
God.
shot in
Yeah.
2020. So,
Mhm.
and then from the response that Cadell received, like Mike was saying, that's when Cadell said, okay, let's start adding on. So that's when he brought in the wife and then the girlfriend. And then it started just morphing and building. And then so we did the series in 2021, which were the 5 episodes. And then we were like, okay, what's going to happen with it? We were trying, it actually was selected at ABFF in 2021 as
Gonna have
in
that.
the web series category. And then from there, like Alex moved away, then China moved away. And then we were like, well, because we were getting such great feedback from the series,
Yeah.
and we didn't want to just let it go. So Cadell was like, what can we do with it? I was like, well, me and Mike are still here. We still in it. What can we do to, keep this going? Because I believed in the concept of, like I said, a relationship from the mother father perspective and then also the son. We don't get to see these narratives.
Very true.
So then I think that's when Cadell got a link to a link to like Tubi, and they said, well, hey, if you guys could turn it into a film, we can get it up on a streaming platform. So that's when Cadell came back, was like, okay, guys, this is where we are. Are you down to make this into a film? And of course, me and Mike was like, hell yeah, whatever we need to do. So that's when we were like, let's pour some, money. At the time, I think, Mike chipped in, I chipped. That's how we became executive producers, because we had to fund it. We had to fund, bring in the crew and locations and everything else. So we were invested in making sure that this project saw the light of day, and that's what independent filmmaking is about. Like, you have to be willing to invest
Right.
in the work and invest in the project, not just you being, I'm just going to show up to set and just be here. Like, no, you have to put money in, and whatever else you need to do, let's do it. So
Yeah.
and then again, finding the right people who both were they were all believers in what we were building. And so that in itself, like I said, is just, just time. And trust me, it were times where we were just like, I don't, what are we going to do with this, y'all? Like, should we just let it
Yeah.
go? And I was like, no, let's, somehow, and I was like, something's going to happen. We going, whatever we need to do. And so
And then,
that's where we are. Yeah.
yeah.
So the other thing about the indie world, which I've noticed, is that you do have the luxury of working around people that become your professional family. And
Mm-hmm.
you may be on several projects together because it's a well working group, and you kind of want to stick with who you know is going to work well with you. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
talk about the difference from being on an indie set versus being on a set that's funded by a corporation.
Oh man, it's day and night.
Yeah.
So one thing I want to let people know about a professional, well, they're both professional sets, but the one that got the money, let's say Hollywood sets or something big with a whole bunch of money, they go through a lot of drama too. You don't hear it and see it. So let's just keep that real. And when
Yeah.
you do get word
Yes.
of it, you're like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
you think about the indie sets, and when you have the little drama as well, you're like, it's it's about
Yeah.
the team. It's about the team. It's
Yeah.
about the focus. It's about the mission. And so
Mm-hmm.
there's not really that much of a difference except for the money
Yeah.
pocket.
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
Um,
There's gonna be something on
yeah,
a film set. There's always going to be some sort of issues or things that happen. There's no film
yeah,
set that's going, whether it's on an independent level or on the big, and anything with that's you got bigger money at stake.
yeah,
So things have to go right. So
right.
things happen. That's on a bigger scale because now you're losing like thousands and thousands of dollars. So so yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut
And
you off, Mike, but
no,
yeah.
no, no. And so like another thing is that, there are restrictions on a larger
Hmm.
set. You can't really talk with star actors unless they come to you or whatever. So there's that. Even if you're like a strong supporting actor, you still have to it's like your hands are tied behind your back and you're like, and sometimes you just have to wait for that right time to speak to them so that you're able to grow and network and try to be in
Hmm.
bigger films, whatever. That's something you have to do, but you have to know when to do it. So
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
that. And then there's, there are sometimes egos. And you'll notice that off the bat when you get on set. So, you just know what to say and when to say and when what not to say as well. Indie sets, you can have that too, actually. You can have that ego issue as well. But the thing
Hmm.
is that there's limited amounts of money, so you're trying to make it work. You're positive. You're staying in character, and you go somewhere else where if it's kind of a little heated or whatever, you go somewhere to stay in your character, stay in your professional self, and then go back to work. So there's complexities when it comes to the money. There's complexities when it comes to the restrictions. There's complexities where executive producers and people like that can get on the set of the big money Hollywood stuff, but not most of the time on the indie. It is like here's the money, y'all go make it work or whatever. So there are differences, but not so much. I just say it's more of scaled.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's scaled.
Yeah.
And you learn that through being from an extra on a big set to being
Hmm.
a day player to supporting actor, strong supporting to lead. You learn those things. It's a continuing process. You can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't know, and if you're not in the vicinity of what's going on,
Hmm.
then you're just like, okay, why has this happened? What in the world? And it could discourage you. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
stay in it. You gotta have that. I don't
Yeah.
know where I'm going with this, but you gotta if you want to continue as an actor from
Yeah.
the indie to the large set, you got to stay in it. You're going to have some bumps and bruises,
Yeah.
and you're going to notice that okay, this is a very fickle world, and it's it's competitive. Everybody
Hmm.
that smiles at you is not your friend, that
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
but at the same time, there's people out there that want you to win too. They want to see
Yeah.
you eat, and it's all about how
Yeah.
you put your professionalism out there, how you
Hmm.
you just keep it real and work hard
Yeah.
and know your script.
Hmm.
That's another thing from a large uh, set to a smaller set. If you don't know your script on a large set, boy, I'm telling you now, there's people that are in the waiting that can grab
Hmm.
that role
Yeah.
from you. They
Hmm.
don't have they're spending tens of thousands of dollars, maybe millions of dollars a day. If you don't know your script and if you're not being
Hmm.
that person that they saw in that audition, they will let you go and someone else will come on.
Yeah.
Now on the indie
Hmm.
side, they're gonna pull you to the side and be like, let's look, we need to make this work. Maybe even give you an extra day and you shoot around that shot.
Hmm.
Sometimes they'll change the locations, whatever. The big
But even
sets,
then, you're
not so
like,
much.
yeah, because you still, time is money. So at the end
Yeah,
of the
time
day,
is
you
money.
need to be. The thing is this, the independent projects prepare you for the big projects. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So you always, even though it's independent and it's a smaller scale, it's still, you still conduct yourself as a professional,
As a
because this
professional.
is
And
preparing you to, go to those. So I've worked in both arenas where, I had the independent stuff I was doing on my own, and even the stuff that was produced, through Megamind, and through this last project with Country Wayne, which was like the biggest project we shot in Atlanta,
yeah,
where Country Wayne is the executive producer. This is that we have A-list stars, like we have Coco Jones and Miss Pat and Tabitha Brown, and you know what I mean. So all the independent projects prepared me for this next project, this bigger budget project. So it all matters. And don't sit here and be like, oh, well, that's just no, this is preparing you. If you don't conduct yourself as a professional on an independent level,
yes.
then you won't conduct yourself as a professional on a big one. So just know this is preparing you in terms of how you, like everything that Mike was saying, how you carry yourself, being prepared. If you are an actor, know your lines, stay in your lane, don't be too, you have, and a lot of this is, you have to kind of feel every set is different, so you
Yes.
have to feel it out, and you have to, don't be too much, don't be too demanding, but you have to still know, what your rights are and things of that sort, but don't be too extra. You know what I mean? So you actually, is like in these situations, you really have to kind of feel things out, and kind of, again, stay in your lane, do your job, be on time,
Be
you
on
know
time.
be
Yeah.
on time, and really just like a regular day job. You go to work, do what you're supposed to do. Don't be too much. Know to when to, sit back and be, and they call you, they need you, and things of that sort. So again, you have to feel out each situation. That's all, you know what I mean? But be professional regardless if it's independent or on a large scale, because your character and your reputation is going to carry you no matter where you are, independent or on a big scale.
And I like to add,
So,
I'm sorry, go ahead. So sorry.
okay, go ahead, go ahead.
I like to add also, this is very important for us as well as people that are watching. The audition is always ongoing.
Good
When you
point.
post something on Instagram, you post something on your social, a lot of people aren't liking your stuff, but they saw you and they liked what
Mm-hmm.
you did. So they want to see
Mm-hmm.
you and they're investigating, see how far this person can go. Because
Mm-hmm.
there's big people out there that are looking like, I might put this guy on one of our projects, and so you've got to carry yourself. You are your own business. And at
Yes.
the same time, the audition is always ongoing as an actor, or if they want to put you on a production team or whatever, they're trying to see if they can trust you.
Yeah.
And then with the auditions, they want to see if they can trust you to commit to the character and understand the objective of the character. And that you can do this for other characters that are higher up and whatever. It's always an ongoing process that the audition
Yeah.
is ongoing. And this I
Yeah.
got this from one of my actor coaches who was in the Hollywood and the Chicago theater stage days, Cheryl Felicia Rode, that has her acting school here in Virginia. And it stuck with me when I took her class the first time. The audition is always ongoing
Mm-hmm.
all the time.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
very important. I wanted to put that out there.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
You want to add
Yeah.
anything to that, Tiffany?
Well, I mean, yeah, people just want to know if they can work with you, and they just want to
Yeah.
know that you're not crazy. Okay, that's like the bottom. Like, people just want to know that you are not crazy, and that whether you, in terms of a director, writer, actor, people just want to know if they can work with you.
Right.
And if you are out here conducting yourself like I ain't gonna say it, but you know what I mean. If you're just doing too much, if you're being a dick or whatever, your reputation precedes you. I don't
Yes.
care how talented you are. People are not going to want to work with you. Period.
Yeah.
So, just like the same thing like Michael saying, your auditions, all yeah, because how you act on screen or on set, and also offset. If you're out here just doing too much, you're gonna rub people the wrong way. So again, this goes back to being professional, be respectful. Don't be a creep. You know, and I think this is, well, you would think there'd be common sense, but common sense ain't so common with some people. But yeah, as I said, just be professional and do the work. Be sure you show up and you do the job, and also to kind of the ego, set your ego aside. Your ego will sabotage your career,
Yes.
faster than you think. So, and again, that goes back to this people wanting to work with you and liking you.
Right.
So yeah, people just want to, if they like you, they'll work with you, even if you don't already have all the skills, but they know that you're willing to work and to learn, and you're genuine, you're a
Exactly.
good person. People will teach you. The right
Yeah.
people will teach you.
Yeah.
They'll
Yeah.
teach you.
And
But if your attitude sucks, mm-mm.
yeah, the community is very small. Like
Yeah,
Hollywood
I'm
and
telling you, yeah.
community, Hollywood and indie film, and
Listen,
in
it
between,
is,
it's still small. Everybody
especially in
still
the black,
will
yeah, in
find
the
out about
black
it.
Hollywood, you be surprised who knows
Yeah,
who.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
again,
yeah.
your reputation precedes you. So people know that you're doing too much. Your ego's on 1,000. People are like, oh no, don't work with him. No, don't work with this person. I'm telling you, So humble yourself. Be confident, but don't be cocky.
Very
Absolutely.
true. That's
Yeah.
that's good advice. One of the things that I noticed about your film, are in me being a film critic, one of the things that I grade our films on are the things that a lot of film creators take for granted: the lighting, the sound,
Mm,
the wardrobe, the props. They don't look at that as being important. And in your
mm-hmm,
film, all those additives, those side dishes that we need to transport us into that world were on
mm-hmm,
point. And that's part of the reason that I gave you an A plus, because a lot of times with people of color and their films,
mm-hmm,
they tend to look at those things as being secondary or not as
mm-hmm,
important, or
mm-hmm. Cut
not wanting to
corners.
be
Yeah.
perfectionists in that realm. Talk to me a
Yeah.
little bit about that, how important that is to make a film, those side dishes.
Well, that was all Cadell Cook.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
That's all. Shout out to Cadell Cook, our writer
Shout out to
director.
Fidel.
He is, when it comes to how he wants his projects to look, the sound, the quality, the production design, that was all him. and
Yeah,
and I can't take any credit for that, because again, he's the mastermind behind Perfectly Us, and he had a vision of how he wanted to look. All of his work is very quality based work, and
Yeah.
that's one thing, reason why I was like, okay, I'm definitely working with Cadell, because I know the end product gonna look good. So that's why I was like, I'll put my money up, because I already know the sound gonna look good, the quality, the editing, everything, everything is going to be top notch when it comes to Cadell. So that's why, honestly, I had no problem put my money up, because I knew the end product was going to be top tier. So that's all Cadell Cook. So that's all I can say about that.
he's meticulous. He's
Yeah.
my I call him the mad scientist. He's like an auteur. He can do from the writing to the lighting. Like he knows how to do
Hmm.
all of that. And
Yeah.
his professional background is a sound guy, sound
Yeah.
engineer, and he
Mm.
Yeah.
does like top tier companies when it comes to the
Yeah.
sound side of things.
That's his
So
day
that is
job.
always
Yeah.
a plus for us to have that, and it was
Hmm.
snapping like that. And I just want to give a shout out to him. I worked with him. The first time I worked with Cadell, we did a monologue. I was like, I need something for an actor's reel. So I did a monologue of this creepy guy he found out that the crush that he had was uh, uh, sexually assaulted by his friend.
Mm.
And so I had a monologue in that, and I just basically became this twisted guy, like I'm gonna, plot revenge on her. And so after that, we went to 4 Points, the movie, which was a
Hmm.
highly critically acclaimed short
Yeah.
film that we did,
Hmm.
and we won a lot of film festivals.
Yeah.
We beat out people who were Hollywood stars in other short films. That's how great it
Hmm.
was. And I was like,
Wow.
Bell is really good. He's a great script writer. He's a
Yeah.
great director.
Yes.
And then, yeah, he did a few films later, Forgetting, as
Yeah.
well. HP
Forgetting.
Forgetting Christmas, but it's Forgetting. And then
Hmm.
we said, let's go ahead and do Perfectly Us. So he has a
Hmm.
lineup of great films that you can check out and see, and you can
Yeah.
understand his mindset. He's
Hmm.
intentional. He's a
Yeah.
visionary. And so when we did this, and then we have the mind of a filmmaker as well, which is Tiffany, as well as myself, I would say I have this editing mind. I can't edit on computer, but I know what to do. I know how to say things. I know how
Mm.
to see things.
Yeah.
Um, and we put it all together, and then boom,
Hmm. Yeah.
it's what it is.
Yeah.
It's about, you can be a leader and have a team of people who are better than you, but you
Hmm.
know how to task them.
Hmm.
And then everybody comes together, and boom, there's this beautiful project.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
always about teamwork to me, and it always will
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
And Cadell is that person, Tiffany's that
Yeah.
person, I'm that person, and a lot of people that were part of the Perfectly Us are those people. We believe in
Yeah.
teamwork. We believe in a product. We are passionate about this vision. We move forward, and we see what happens from there. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
Perfectly Us speaks for itself.
Yeah.
How is the film doing on Tubi?
It's doing quite well,
It's
right,
doing,
Tiffany? I
yeah,
mean,
it's the
yeah,
numbers from last time. I can't say exactly, but I mean, well, I know that people are watching, and the
yeah,
numbers is that a lot of the numbers might be from me because I'm just playing it. So, but no, I am a lot of, from the feedback so far. I
yeah,
haven't gotten an update recently, but people are really tuning in and they're watching and they're sharing. And I know, Mike, you're probably getting feedback from people who watch. I mean,
yes.
I'm
I get a lot
sharing
of
it with
feedback.
people I know, and everybody says they love the film. And they all like, when's gonna be a part two? We need a Perfectly Us too. We need to know what
That's all
happens.
I
What
hear.
happens with Dion and what happens with their mom and dad. So I was like,
Yeah,
y'all need to keep watching so we can get this money and then we
yeah.
can maybe do part two. So that's how
We
that
can
works.
fund it, and
But
then
Yeah.
it's doing really well. I mean, kind of surprisingly because of, in a way, we were kind of hesitant. Remember, we were talking about Mike because like, well, this isn't. There's no major cussing. There's no crime. There's
right.
no drugs. There's no killing. And Tubi, they're a certain audience. They want to
Yeah,
see. They like
yeah,
certain things. So we were kind of like, will they be receptive to, this project because it doesn't have all those things. This is just a good quality. Um,
relatable film.
relationship drama,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it wasn't too much, but it was just enough. And so we were kind of like, I hope people are gonna watch it, because we were even talking about changing the title because we wasn't for sure if people were gonna, if it
Yeah,
wasn't edgy enough or something. And
yeah,
I was just like, no, just we just gonna leave it the way it is because of, we had to be true to the project,
Yeah.
and let's not change it up just because we think people, as it, the real people who are going to receive, they're going to receive the project and they're going to love it. So
Yeah.
that was, we were just like, let's just leave it the way it is, and just say a prayer that people will watch and tune in and they will enjoy the content for what it is.
and it's the marketing that we had as well. We were part of the marketing, so
Yeah.
we had a Kia. She was our marketing person, as
Yes.
well as all of us team out. She put out an amazing script for us where Cadell, he would cut things, and
Hmm.
we would show little snippets of here and there. We would have a script, we would have the language, we would have the. It's like we were a marketing firm.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Low
when
budget
you're
marketing
independent,
firm. Yeah,
that falls on your
yeah,
shoulders
on
as well. You don't have the
yeah,
luxury of just say, oh, we're going to have, like I said, a big budget to have someone
right,
come in and just do all the marketing like these
yeah,
other big movies. That's another thing. Independent, you have to think about, how are we going to market this to the masses, and how are we going to get eyeballs on it? How are we
right,
going to get people to tune in? So, yeah, we had, like I said, Kia, shout out to her. She was our marketing person to kind of help us with our social media captions. They had the clips, we had
amazing,
the trailers, the stuff. So we had a system and a plan to post and make sure we're reaching out, and we did a press release and things of
yeah,
that sort. And even now, even on my end, I'm still making connections and sending out the press release to people, just so people like, hey, this is an ongoing thing.
yes,
So you, as an independent filmmaker, this is a part of your responsibility as well. You just, not just the creative side. Now it's the business. At the end of the
right,
day, you create a product, and you want to get your money back. You want to get this ROI. So you have to market your film. So filmmakers, you can't just leave that part out. And I think that's where a lot of independent filmmakers kind of fall short, is they
yeah,
don't have a marketing plan.
Hmm.
Because at the end of the day,
It is
This
so
is a film.
important.
It's a business. This is a business. It's the film business. We're creating a product to sell, and
Right.
how are we going to get people to, watch the product? How are we going to get them to see it? You have to have a plan. You just can't be like, oh well, I did all the creative start. Now it's just going to be out there. No, you have to have a plan,
You
and
have to have
how
the
people
hustle
are going to
man.
see it.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah,
have the hustle man mentality. You know how like the guy from I forgot the
yeah,
name of the company, the football company. He was selling out of the trunk of his car. You are your marketing person. You
yeah,
have to go
That's
to
true.
the basics to
yes.
push it
It's a
out. You
hustle.
can't
It's a
be worried about
grind.
yeah, you can't be worried about people's reaction to you. Some people are going to like it. Some people are going to like it. Some people are like, "Will you leave me alone?" It's
Yeah,
okay. Rejection should be something we're used to as actors when those doors
yeah,
close on us when we're trying to. So
yeah,
don't use that as an excuse. This is
yeah,
our product. We want to win. We want to put it out there. So you have to go from the basics to
yeah,
when you get some money to give it to a marketing
yeah.
company or whatever. It's the same thing as what happens on a Hollywood set. They have a bigger budget, but they're still doing the same type of things.
Yes,
It's
they
just
got to
that
market it.
they
Yeah,
got a well-oiled
absolutely.
machine. So
Yeah,
pay attention to them. Look at your limited amount of funds that you have and the people that you have. You're still just as good as they are. It's just that you have to, or you're
yes,
going to take more time. And then once that
yeah,
well-oiled machine is happening,
mm-hmm.
you have this team of people that okay, you're going to see somebody out there like oh they got $100 million. They're like you know what we really like your team. We have this script, and I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying just it can happen, and we want your team to take care of this. We want to see what you're going to do with this $100 million in this script.
Right.
Yeah,
It's going to
and
be
because you are
daunting, scary,
independent, yeah.
but you can do it.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And because
yeah,
you are independent, you have to think outside the box because you
yeah,
don't have the funds like a major studio. So you have to kind of maneuver differently. You have to have a strategy. So I'm like, okay, all right, let's use social media. Let's do some fun marketing or do some, if you do skits or what have you. You have to think outside the box because again, we don't have a major budget. So
Hmm.
you have to use what's available. And so yeah, again, with independent filmmaking, you cannot leave that part of it out.
Right.
absolutely,
And I would even add also, forge solid relationships. Go to those
Hmm.
film festivals, rub elbows with some people you may not know or you might want to get to know in order to solidify some relationships because you never know who you can utilize on your way.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
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 absolutely. And you never know who's actually paying attention
that's true.
and who's, and just from you, like I said, forging relationships of people who are at your levels, not just always like Issa Rae, I saw a video, she's always talking about people trying to network up. And it's like, network across. You never know the
yeah,
people who are right here on your level and
Yeah,
who they know. And they
yeah,
share and they share and then somebody, you just never know who is again looking at what you guys are doing.
right.
So always, yeah, like I said, always forge those relationships with people, of course, on your level, the top level, if you can get there, but sometimes you just got to start hearing this and just work your way up.
Hmm.
absolutely.
Amen.
Networking and film festivals are really important, extremely important
Yes,
with your
absolutely.
product as well as being an actor. The audition is always ongoing as well. I've got a
Yeah.
lot of roles from just going to film festivals and networking events.
Hmm.
Yeah, and
It's,
Look,
also to
man, Mike stay
support
working.
other artists.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
listen. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
What do
I
you,
was just
I'm,
going to just give Mike a quick shout out. Like, Chica, if you don't know about Mike, Mike stay working. Okay, Mike always got a film coming out. There's a premiere, a trailer. I'm like, I don't know when he has time, but this dude always working. Okay, and he's just out there just making stuff happen. So I just want to give a shout out to Mike because he always. You talking about me working hard? This man, he be working.
I appreciate you.
Ah,
And just what Mike was about to say, go to those film festivals, even if you don't have anything submitted. Sometimes
Right.
it's about you supporting other artists because
Yes.
support begets support. You never know when that
mhm.
hand's going to come out to assist you when you're in need. And it may come
That's
out of
right.
a
Absolutely.
place that's unexpected.
Yep.
Yeah. And just having an
Absolutely.
ear to listen to, you look, you see a film, you tell him the truth about his or her film,
Hmm.
and and they will sit there and I'm like, okay, well, I got a role for you. I got something coming up, just like that.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And they may know that you don't have that experience but they can work with you. There's people that are just really good actor directors that can work with you to help
Yeah.
you grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just go out
Because
there and
what you
have
bring
faith
your
and do it.
personality. It's your
Yeah,
personality. As I said, your
it's your personality.
personality and your attitude. Like if you
Yes.
got a great attitude, like okay, because it's very hard to, especially when you're trying to build a film or everything about filmmaking is collaborative. So you want to have building a team or your circle of people. You just want to have a circle of people who are like-minded and like you and who have a good genuine spirit and positive and professional. So when you meet people like that, you want to hold on to them. I know I do.
Yeah, I
I
do.
know I'm like I have like certain people that I know that as I'm building my career, I'm going to grab this because I know that they are this genuine good people, but they know their stuff too. So you know what I mean. And even if they don't, I'm like I'll still work with you because your personality, I can
Mhm.
work with you. So
So
it definitely
yeah,
goes back to that.
my
Yeah.
thing is that when I go to these events as well, since I'm in the business, I don't, I love to encourage people. I love to. That's my thing. Especially new faces. It's hard, man. This is a hard business. You have to have the gut for it. But at the same time, when I go to these events, I'm listening to everyone. I try my very best to listen to everyone and encourage them so that, when they have these questions or whatever, sometimes they're, obnoxious questions or whatever, but you put
Mhm.
that to the side and still give them the encouragement to say, move forward, keep trying. I'm in your corner. I'm going to help you as best as I can. Some people take it too far, but
Mhm.
it's still the thing. My thing is that it puts it in their mind that I can do this. It puts it in their heart because there's the rejection. There's the I don't have this, I don't have that. They're looking at other individuals and they're trying to compare themselves. And I tell them, put the tunnel vision and then move forward. Take it one day at a time. I'm going to encourage you to do this and do that. I urge you to do this and that. And they think a lot of people listen. And so like when I've spoken to these people, all of a sudden, like a year later, they're just like blown up or they're
Mhm.
working. And it's all
Mhm.
about the encouragement. It's
Yeah.
all about that. I want to see people eat. I want people to win. If you're not that good, I tell them straight up, go, get some training, find out what your strengths are. And when they do that, it's like, wow, it's a transformation. So that's something I do. Like when I'm invited to places, that's my number one thing. I'm looking at everyone like, who can I encourage? You know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and, and that's part of my process as an actor in this business. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm all about that. It's all about the inspiration for me because, that's what art is. It's inspiration, whether it's in music form, film form, canvas
Yeah.
form, it's inspiration.
Mhm.
So we've reached the point in the show where I'm going to ask each of you to do a manifestation. It can be on anything that you'd like it to be. Ladies first, I'm going to start with you, Tiffany. What is your manifestation?
In terms of what, like I need a
You
specific.
tell me. You tell me.
I mean, okay, all right. So I manifest that Perfectly Us is going to get millions and millions of streams and enough to the point where we're going to have funding to do maybe a Perfectly Us too or some other stuff. So I'm going to manifest that and speak that into existence. I'm going to manifest that my new TV pilot or TV series Welcome to Dickie's is going to get funding, and that's like my next major project that's going to um take my career to another level, and all of my other projects where my production company will take off, and all these other projects I have in the works will finally get some exposure and some coins. And I just manifested, for Mike and his career. I just want to manifest some great things for him because I know he's working hard, and I just whatever dreams and goals he has for himself, just going to speak on that, and because I know that he has been put in the work. So I'm just going to manifest that whatever he wants is going to come to fruition. So
Appreciate you.
that's all I
Thank you.
got.
Yeah.
You, Mr. Patterson, what's your manifestation?
Tiffany, I have to say, the same for you as well. I believe you're extremely talented. I believe God for you. I believe that you're going to take off. I believe that you're going to put me in one of your films. I'm going to speak that into existence. I don't care
Absolutely.
if it's a one-liner. I'm going to be in that.
Oh, you won't be in there.
Um,
No worries. No worries. No worries.
I believe in Perfectly Us. I really truly believe that because of the dynamics, the family, the father son. We need more of that. And a lot of people
Hmm.
are watching that film and they can relate to it. And I believe that it's going to travel far. It's going to have legs for, I think, for like at least a couple more years. As well as I believe that we can do something off of that. If not Perfectly Us
Mm.
too, we can do something off of that where we can continue to put things out there that are relatable, that people want to see. We're seeing too much crime. We're seeing too much sex. We're seeing too much this and that, and it's
Hmm.
becoming like a drug addicted type situation. We need to scale back and we need to think about family, friends, relationships, and how we can
Yeah.
be together as a community. Community is
Hmm.
extremely important.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm believing and praying for. I am a novice writer. Right now, I have like two scripts that I'm trying to write, which is a sci-fi and a film that's based on adoption. And I may be taking Tiffany's classes, so that as well. I'm just trying to find the time to do
Got to.
so. And it doesn't matter how long it takes for me. I just know that God has put it on my heart to do these two things, and so I may be 70 years old when I finish. I don't know, but those are the things I'm going to
It
do,
ain't gonna
as
take that
well as
long. We gonna get it done
I.
before then.
And I believe God for having my own studio one day soon with great people that are even better than I am, that are going
Mm.
to be my team. And we're going to reach out and we're going to help those who aspire and dream of being great actors, producers, and writers. I just really believe that that's something that's always been in the bottom of my heart as an actor that I want to give and pour back to. And I'm not sounding like, sounding like a cliche, sounding all this and that, but it's true. Like I believe in people, I believe in what God has given them, and I want to help them reach their potential. You know, pass through time,
Amen.
pay it
Absolutely.
forward. Yep.
Amen.
I'm manifesting. I had an epiphany. Perfectly us Christmas.
Oh, yo, that would be dope.
I just went.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, perfectly us Christmas.
mad drama in Christmas too. So like, yeah.
We
And,
gonna. I
and
don't
and
know.
that's the thing about a great film when you can create a world and the viewer wants to be a part of it, or the viewer wants to know more about the people involved. For
Hmm.
me, that's a solid project, and you guys accomplished that big
Thank you
time.
so
Thank
much, man.
Yeah.
you. Thank
Appreciate you,
you.
bro.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Appreciate that.
Mr. Patterson, where can people follow you and keep up with you and your work?
Actor Michael J. Patterson. It's actor underscore Michael J. Patterson, Instagram, or you'll see my face on Facebook, which is Michael J. Patterson, as well. Those are the two handles that I use the most. And yeah, I'm on YouTube, but I forgot my name, so I don't even use that. So Instagram actor underscore Michael J. Patterson and Facebook Michael J. Patterson. And also my management team is Proverbs31management.com. That is Proverbs31management.com. Yes. Yeah.
Miss Tiffany Yancey, excuse me, Professor Tiffany Yancey. Tell us
Yep.
where people can
Right.
catch up with you.
Right now people can follow me on Instagram at I am underscore Tiffany underscore Yancey, Yancey. And I'm working on my YouTube right now, so getting that together. But people can also go to my website, tiffanyyancey.com, and subscribe to my email. I'm going to be start sending out email updates on my, like I said, new classes, YouTube videos, new projects. So I'm building my email list as well. So just go on to tiffanyyancey.com and subscribe and stay tuned for more stuff coming.
And we didn't
Yep.
talk about that much at all, but talk about your professorship real quick.
Oh, well, I am a adjunct professor at Bowie State University. I've been teaching there. It'll be actually 3 years in January, and I teach screen aspiring writers. I teach screenwriting 370, and I teach my students how to get that movie idea down onto paper. So I start from just the concept, the idea, and then I just walk them through the phases of doing a log line, a synopsis, and doing a treatment. And then now, like this week, their midterms was treatment. If you listening, guys, do your homework. Midterms coming up. Yes, writing a treatment. And then we're getting into how to write an opening scene. I teach you this, just the basics of using screenwriting software, how to format a script, reading scripts. So I'm teaching them the fundamentals. And been doing this about, again, it'll be 3 years in January. Right now, it's strictly online. And I'm really proud of some of my students when we were at the PG Film Festival at Bowie. I had some of my previous students come up to me. Some were there at the premiere, at the screening, and some of them have gone on to do their film projects, and some are out in the world making things happen. And a lot of it's because they said they took my class, and now they're writing their own projects. So
Amen.
um, it makes me just
Yeah.
feel, this warms my heart, and this was something, honestly, this was strictly just God just brought this opportunity to me, because I was not in the position or even wanted to teach. That was not, I was feeling like I'm still learning myself. But when God brings an opportunity to you, and a shout out to Chairperson Williams at Bowie State, and he believed in me, and I've been teaching there ever since. So yeah, so now I am going to be teaching outside of Bowie. So I'm working on developing online classes for that. So I'm working on getting that together. So pretty
Go.
soon you guys can take, some online courses. What I teach in my Bowie curriculum, I'll be teaching to the masses.
So those people that are going to go over to Tubi to watch Perfectly Us, please be sure to hit the indicators that you liked. Hit that, because those numbers register. They really do mean a lot.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah,
yeah, and share that
yeah.
if you will, share that you've watched it and how much you like it on social media. Let's hashtag Perfectly Us and see how far we can get with that.
We
Yes, yes, and
appreciate you.
y'all just,
Thank you for that.
yeah, thank you. And just like I said, if y'all just washing clothes, doing laundry, just put it on the background while y'all cooking dinner. Just let it play. Just put it up on
And I
there.
guarantee you, if you do, you're going to get pulled into the dialogue because the story is pretty
I'm telling
dynamic.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's something
Yeah.
that I haven't seen on TV before, especially with people of color.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I guarantee you guys are going to love it. There's some funny moments, there's some heartwarming moments. It's very
Yeah.
relatable. If you've been in a
Yeah.
relationship at any stage of your life, whether you're, 20s or in your 40s, it's relatable. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so definitely just go watch it and tune in.
Yeah. Thank you to both for a
Thank
wonderful
you.
interview and great fortune with Perfectly Us. And remember, everybody, hashtag Perfectly Us. Uh,
Yes.
this will immediately go up for rewatch if you didn't see it from the beginning, and it will also be on the Conversations with Chike Evans YouTube page. Thank you for tuning in. I thank my guests, Tiffany Yancey and Michael J. Patterson. Keep me informed of what else you're doing. We can have you back on.
All
Thank
right,
you.
definitely. Thank you
God
so
bless you
much for
both.
having us. Love you, Chike. Thank
Love you
Yes,
guys.
yes.
you.
See you later.
Thanks,
Peace,
man.
people.
All right, bro.